Welcome to another week of the Nick and Dan Show. And Dan, do we have a song for the people?
We do.
All right, let's get to it then.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, go. Under the arc of the steel bars, ancient goblins and mortals. I'm out the ground, not making a sound. Instead of dead, there's all around. And I'm in the cold wind blows. Nobody cares, nobody knows. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. Follow liquor to a sacred place. They say the dream I can't escape. Malicious fangs and the picking of bones. Spirits hiding along the tombstones. And at night when the moon is bright, somebody cries something ain't right. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. No! The moon is bright and the air is still. All of a sudden I feel a chill. Victor is bringing flash right away. Skeleton dance and I curse this day. And at night when the wolves cry out, listen close and you can hear them shout. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't want to live my life again. Oh no, not again. Oh. Not again. No. There you go. Another awesome song done by Nick and Dan.
Or Nick and Dan.
Dan and Nick?
Something like that.
Who the fuck are we?
That's the $1 million question.
I want $1 million. We'll be right back after this. Hey rats, before we continue, just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you keep up to date with all the cool new videos coming out weekly from Exham Priory. So welcome back to another week of the Nick and Dan Show. It's frosty time. So this week we're going to discuss what makes a gig great. A great show. What we're going to do is we're going to go through a couple of the shows that we've played, and then eventually we'll take a look at the common contributing factors. And maybe that's what makes a great show. I don't know. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to Rachel Roebuck for her comment on last week's episode. You rock. She actually enjoyed the songs we should never play.
Oh, dear Lord.
I know, right? I mean, we did play Britney Spears.
To each their own, I guess.
You know, we had fun.
We did have fun.
Some weeks, obviously, there'll be songs we should play. Other weeks, we shouldn't. Who knows? I feel like this week was one we should. But if there are songs that you think we should play, comment on the video. Leave your comments right here, and then we'll go through them and probably veto some.
Yeah, they're all going right in the trash.
Oh, that's brutal, buddy. But maybe we'll pick some. But also every week we will give a shout out to one of the fans that commented on our videos. And eventually maybe we'll even do a prize, like a signed beer can.
With what budget?
Signed beer can, dude. You know,
Still
beer
gotta buy-
money.
Still gotta buy Sharpies.
I have Sharpies, I think.
All right.
Anyway, maybe we'll do a prize at some point for one lucky commenter. But Dan, let's talk shows. So, what's one that jumps to your mind?
Well, I mean, it's got to go back to the beginning. Our first show, our debut show, which we accidentally headlined at the Evening Star.
Accidentally headline. Now, how that one played out, the band Heartsick from, I believe, Lansing, Michigan.
Mhm.
So, Lansing, Michigan, they were supposed to headline, but they had to drop off kind of last minute because there was some emergency going on with one of the members, which is unfortunate. But we had sold the most tickets, and originally, I believe you were pointing this out when we were chatting about it earlier, we actually turned down headlining.
We did. We had got offered, and we said it wasn't fair to the rest of the bands that are on because it's our debut show. We haven't put our time in yet. But lo and behold, we ended up doing it.
Right. And, you know, what I thought was a lot of fun about that show was, one, the amazing crowd. It was absolutely packed, and not just packed, but people were really, really energetic. And the venue, the staff, they all did an amazing job at the Evening Star in Niagara Falls, New York. But they always do an awesome job. I love that venue. What made it fun for you?
You touched on the atmosphere already. To me, honestly, just the overall energeticness of the crowd really made you feel like, hey, we're doing something nice here. You know?
Right.
And then plus, we had a few little Easter eggs in the show that kind of brightened it up. We had A.J. Amherst come on and sing California Love with us.
Right.
And that was also the first time that we got to meet our now guitar player, Tom Peterson.
So, a lot of fun stuff about that. Next show. Now, this one I'm going to throw out there. We're going to December 2016 at the Niagara Hotel, Lockport, New York, with Virus X. Now, that show was an absolute blast. The Niagara Hotel is kind of a different atmosphere. It's got a very mixed crowd as far as the bar patrons go, and you play in a completely separate room from everything. What I liked was, one, they pumped the music and video through the entire bar. We didn't even know about that until after we were done playing. And the crowd itself was very small, but they were really, really into it. Singing along, shouting at the bands. What about that did you enjoy?
Like you had touched on previously, I like the layout of that venue.
It's different.
It's very different. It's an older building, so you have your bar, and it almost looks like where we played was an addition, or they knocked down a wall or something.
Yeah, right.
You know, but just the fact that the venue actually made you feel like we were not putting them out in any way. They were very welcoming, which is a huge part of putting on any show.
I like it. So that's another great show. What do you got on the docket?
Another one that comes to mind is going to be the first acoustic set that we played with a full acoustic show
All right.
when we opened up for Trapped and Smile Empty Soul and our now friends, Toy Called God from California.
That was an amazing time. So what about that show stood out to you?
Well, it was a long night. If
Yes.
my memory serves correct, I believe it was a Wednesday evening.
Something like that.
There were a ton of bands on the bill, but everybody stayed for the entire night. And not just everybody as far as the crowd, but other bands as well. You had the guys from Smile Empty Soul actually stayed. We're kind of drumming around the crowd for a little bit.
Right.
The guys in Toy Called God, they all hung out for the entire evening. You know, and it was a different show in the fact that it was a low-key, kind of intimate sort of show,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still a blast to play.
Now, I mean, I know you said it was intimate, but again, it was another one where it was a packed house. That room was absolutely full. There were so many people there. The crowd was really into it. I believe even one of the songs, I threw the microphone out to our buddy Steve Carr. Steve, what's up? And he sang a couple of lines from, I think it was Pale Goodbye, actually. So that was amazing. Plus Mohawk Place in Buffalo, New York. Terrific venue, always great sound, great staff there every single time that we play.
And again, another point would be it's not a venue where you walk into and it feels like you're putting the venue out just by being there. They're always very welcoming, very accommodating, and it makes for an overall better evening.
Now from there, my next one, the Think So Priory show. Our first show back on hiatus last year, we had Joe Kent, Think So Joe, from The Living Brain Dead, filling in on guitar. My favorite thing about this show was, one, getting somebody up on stage that's different to interact with us and really have a fun time. So that was a lot of enjoyment. The crowd wasn't huge, but, there was a good amount of people there. I remember even seeing the videos, some mosh pits going on.
Yeah.
With guys like Cam and Ashton, common people in the local music scene. And again, another venue that we love, Stamps the Bar in Tonawanda. Always a fun time. They've got a sharp sound guy, a cool little stage, and the bartenders are always pretty quick with a frosty one.
Absolutely.
So that's my throw out there. What did you think about that show?
I love playing Stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Stamps, it's a local little watering hole, and for as small as it is, to really pack people in there. Sound quality has been, upgraded over the years, so it's gotten better. But it's one of those things where you walk in there and it feels like home. It feels like the pressure's off of you. You just go in there and you do what you do.
Right. What other show do you have in mind?
I think I'm going to have to go to our CD release party.
Yes. The River Pub in Niagara Falls, New York.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about that one did it for you?
Another one. It's a place that we weren't in yet. We had no idea what to expect. You and I had previously seen shows there.
Mm-hmm.
Or not necessarily shows, but acts on the little stage that they have. Originally, it was one of those things where we weren't quite sure because we were going to be a little bit too loud and ruin the neighborhood sort of thing.
Whatever.
Seriously. But, we went in there, we packed it in, and there were people actually rotating in and out of the building.
Right. I forgot about that because they got the patio outside. There were so many people there that some people would stand outside for a bit and then they'd rotate in because it was shoulder to shoulder. And, again, another energetic crowd.
Yes.
Really energetic. We played 3 sets that night, and even the third and final set, we were racing around midnight at that point, and people were still there. Energy all night long. So that was a real blast. All right. I'm going to give you one more.
All right.
Now, this one's kind of encompassing of 3 shows together, but Punks in the Yard. Now, Punks in the Yard in Allegheny, New York is usually every late August. It's an outdoor show. Bunch of punk bands playing all day long. It's kind of like a festival, but it doesn't have that festival vibe.
It doesn't.
Now, for this one, the crowds aren't always that huge, but the people that are there really pay attention to every set. They cheer, they sing, they clap, and then the scenery. Because the venues themselves never... what couple of times we played behind a single wide trailer on broken pallets, which, it is what it is, but it's such a cool atmosphere and scenery with the hills and everything, the backdrop, the forest. So that really did it for me. How about you? What did you like about the Punks in the Yard shows?
Again, it's just that family atmosphere. You go there and it's almost like your own little Cheers. You go there, everybody knows your name.
Right.
And nobody's going out of their way to be that asshole in the crowd. There's none of that. So it's a very low-key, family-oriented, like you said. You got little kids dancing around. You see the new generation of rocker.
That's right.
As it would be. But I'm going to give you actually one more on top of that.
All right, give me one more.
I'm going to go with the Skylark Lounge in Rochester.
Okay, so now that show, the venue wasn't even supposed to be the venue. That was supposed to originally be at Fogo City Improv in Rochester, New York. But there was a double booking by accident. Skylark Lounge stepped in and offered a space for everybody to play. Now, that was with a couple of bands from kind of between Buffalo and Rochester area. You had the County Kings, who are phenomenal. And then you also had Wyatt Coyne on that bill. And Wyatt Coyne is another terrific band. They call themselves Cowpunk. And it's a lot of fun. The venue is a little strange. Very small stage where we all barely fit on. We're only a 4-piece. But the crowd, again, the atmosphere was so into it and so much fun. So, okay, Dan, these shows we've talked about, I'm seeing 2 common contributors. We've got the atmosphere of fans, the crowd, how they're interacting, and the location. Not even like a great venue, but everything that comes with that venue, whether it be the scenery, the sound guy, the staff, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the common contributing factor I was saying. Would you agree?
I would.
So that's what we think makes a great show. If you have your own comments, again, make sure to comment down here, and we'll see about responding to them, and we can have ourselves a little discussion. So guys, we had a lot of fun. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have yourselves a great fucking weekend. Later.